I still remember the rain that day. It fell in heavy sheets over the graveyard, like the sky itself was mourning Ahmed with me. My husband, my everything, was lowered into the earth, and I stood there in black, numb, clutching the rose I'd placed on his chest just moments before. We'd been married 8 years. No children yet, but we dreamed of them. A quiet home in Karachi, filled with his laughter, my cooking, our late night talks about the future. He was gone too soon, a sudden heart attack at 38. I thought that was the worst pain life could throw at me. I was wrong. After the funeral, family gathered at our house. Relatives whispered condolences, but I noticed the way Ahmed's father, my father-in-law, Uncle Farouk, kept staring at the walls, the furniture, the keys on the table like they already belonged to him. He waited until most people left. Then he sat across from me, his voice low but firm. "This house," he said, "it goes back to the blood family now. You understand, Beta? Ahmed was my son. The property reverts to us, his brothers, his sisters, the real lineage. You've had your time here. We'll help you find a small place." As if I hadn't been his wife, his partner, the one who held his hand through every storm. As if 8 years of love meant nothing, I felt the room spin. Tears burned my eyes, but I didn't let them fall, not yet. I nodded slowly, said nothing. Inside, something cracked open. Not just grief, anger, a quiet, burning realization that they saw me as temporary. A guest who'd overstayed that night, alone in our bed that still smelled like him. I cried until there were no tears left. How could they do this? How could they erase me so easily? But what they didn't know, what no one knew, was that years ago, quietly, he'd made sure I was protected. But what I didn't know then was how deep their betrayal ran. Asterisk the next morning. They came back. Uncle Farouk with Ahmed's brother and sister. They walked through the house like inspectors, pointing out family heirlooms, discussing repairs they'd make once it was theirs. I stood in the kitchen, hands shaking as I made tea. No one drank. "You're young," Uncle Farouk said gently, as if that made it better. "You'll remarry. This isn't your burden anymore. Remarry." As if Ahmed was replaceable. Ahmed and I bought this house together. My savings went into it, too. We have papers. He waved a hand. Papers don't matter. Blood matters. In our family, property stays with blood. "You're not blood." The words hit like a slap. I felt small, invisible. They pressured knee calls, visits, even hints that if I didn't leave quietly, things could get difficult. Neighbors whispered. Relatives took sides. Some said I was being selfish, clinging to what wasn't mine. Others pitied me but stayed silent. My heart shattered every time I walked past our wedding photo on the wall. Ahmed smiling, me in red. So full of hope, I barely slept. Grief mixed with rage until I couldn't tell them apart. I stopped eating properly. Friends begged me to fight, but how? They were family, his family. And I was alone. Then came the day they changed the locks. I came home from the market to find my key wouldn't turn. Uncle Farouk stood at the door, calm as ever. "We thought it best," he said. "You can collect your things tomorrow. We'll arrange a ride." I stood there in the street, bags in hand, rain starting again, broken, betrayed. But in that moment, something shifted. Into resolve, I remembered Ahmed's last words to me months before when he wasn't feeling well. "Everything's in place. Don't let them take what we built." I hadn't understood then. Now I did. I didn't cry anymore. I called Mr. Khan that night. Asterisk Mr. Khan met me the next day in his small office. He pulled out files, Ahmed's will, documents I'd never seen. Ahmed had transferred the house deed to joint ownership years ago, my name right beside his. More than that, he created a trust for our future family, naming me the sole beneficiary if he passed first. No children yet, but the intent was clear. The property was legally mine. Ahmed had anticipated his family's greed and protected me quietly, without drama. When I showed up at the house with the lawyer and police escort for my belongings, Uncle Farouk's face went pale. I didn't shout. I didn't need to. This house, I said softly, is mine. Ahmed made sure of it. The papers prove it. They argued, threatened court. But Mr. Khan was calm, precise. The will was ironclad. Under law, as his widow, I had every right. Their blood family claim crumbled like dry earth. Word spread fast. Relatives who'd sided against me went quiet. Uncle Farouk tried one. Last plea tears, apologies, saying it was just tradition. But tradition doesn't override love. Or law. I didn't throw them out dramatically. I let them leave with dignity because Ahmed would have wanted that. But I changed the locks myself. I kept the house we built. Every corner reminded me of him, but now it reminded me of my strength too. Months later, I planted a garden in the backyard, roses, like the one I left on his grave. I sit there sometimes feeling peace. Not revenge's bitter taste, but justice's quiet victory. They thought they could erase me. They never expected I'd been protected all along. Ahmed's love didn't die with him. It shielded me. If there's one thing I've learned, it's this. Love prepares you, even when you don't know it. And when betrayal comes, sometimes the greatest revenge isn't destruction. It's simply refusing to disappear. Standing tall in the life you build together. Finding peace after the storm. Because, in the end, blood isn't always family. Loyalty is. And loyalty wins.